likes a lot of music.
I mean, it was really just ultimately a good show. Is Raleigh in or no? They cancel?
For third hour. I was told.
Were you able to find presidential roofing?
So let's talk about the raid. Did you hear Trump?
How did they say it was a bad thing?
Who said it? Nobody said it.
CBS and CNN, and I guess.
I didn't hear it.
No,
now you're quoting fake news. I
no,
heard
no,
no
no,
one
no,
say
from
it was
this
bad.
Can you
morning.
have Daphne bring up my earpiece and my wood tray? I need it right now.
Ross.
Yes, sir.
Ross.
Yes,
You got another pen, or that's your pen?
That's mine. I gotta get another one.
You got a pen, Dano? I didn't hear one thing.
And an admiral came on saying that we should respect his body or some damn thing.
Well, I don't care about any of that, but
Well, you know, they went out of their way.
he blew
with
himself up.
I know.
There was nothing to, what do you mean respected? He had a suicide vest
He blew
on.
his kids up.
3 of them or something, yeah.
Well, you know, they went out of their way with Bin Laden to do that,
Right. To bury him rightly.
so there wouldn't be a crazy reaction from the
Well,
Muslims.
plus they did it in the ocean, so they
Right.
wouldn't be able to go honor his grave or anything. I think she just shoved his thing down a shark. Went to a hungry shark place and get him.
This one's going to be an interesting one.
Did you see that one of Moses I sent to you?
I'm going to have him. I don't think we have any documents. Do you have a highlighter, bro? Rock.
Now, impact traffic. This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Big multi-vehicle crash on the south end, still being cleared. Northbound I-25 approaching Lincoln Avenue. The 2 left lanes remain blocked. Solid backups on that stretch. Got a crash being cleared southbound I-25 near Plum Creek as well. 2-vehicle wreck on the westbound side of the turnpike.
Terrible
Left shoulder.
What do you mean?
Traffic. With the snow.
The right shoulder as well. Off highway a couple
I don't think we have any documents relating to this. You have a minute. It's just the highlighted part. Documents.
Right now, light snow showers across the metro area, and we're sitting at 17.
Any change in the demand?
Just read it. Whose email is this? Better not be mine. Sam Randall's.
I wonder what that would mean.
They're just saying, do we have any proof that the price of pudding went down after those events? In writing. It's a very simple question. I don't think we have any documents in writing.
They're saying that my value went down.
Well,
that's what they're insinuating.
No, what they're yeah, they want proof though. Is there any documents?
And how would that be documented to begin with? That tells me they're morons. How would it be?
I have no idea.
If it was documented.
Something internal, like you emailed someone.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
And just for the record, it wasn't affected at all.
I didn't think it was either, actually. Okay, so.
But she still comes back to haunt me fucking years later. Well, everything does, the whole thing. But
whatever.
But we knew that would come up, didn't we?
Actually, I thought it would be worse, but.
Oh, you're right, Mark. You're absolutely right. It's not.
Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Are you ready for winter? You know, we always tend to get overexcited with the first few snows. I'm Tom, your consumer advocate. If you're new to town, welcome. Weather changes often. We love it. We could have balmy, sunny weather later on. So listen, what we do here is we help people. That's it, plain and simple. We help. We help by taking your call. Information, questions, answers, problem solving. We really do solve problems. We don't call ourselves problem solvers. We call ourselves Troubleshooter Network, and for 40 years have been fighting for consumers, and we have hundreds of millions of dollars in proof in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. So welcome. It's a snowy day. I don't know if you're out of work or in work or out of school or in school, whatever it is. You can call us at 303-713-TALK. Live on Facebook, live on YouTube, iHeartRadio app, and across the country in podcasts and other formats as well, and radio affiliates. So let's just say this. You can call at any time. You don't have to worry about when is the right time to call. If you call 303-MARTINO, it'll come right into the studio. If we're not here, you just leave a number, and we will absolutely get back to you. 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. Meanwhile, all you have to do now is call in the studio, which is 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. So what's new with Jeremy? Jeremy, welcome to the show. What's going on, sir?
Oh, I got a jacket that was given to a man standing on the sidewalk rather than taking it to booking with me when I went to the Wells County Jail.
So so you did it on the way in or what? How did that work?
No, I was in the senior center going through my pockets because I had just got out of jail. So I went into the senior center and asked the woman at the front desk if I could sit on the love seat and go through my pockets because I used to live right there around the area and ride my bike around.
I don't completely understand, but you were just getting out of jail?
Yes.
Okay.
I got out of jail, and I was going through my pockets.
Going through your pockets of what?
Yeah, my coat and my pockets, just to make sure that I didn't have anything on me that was going to cause any issues with the police department.
But you were out of jail?
Yes. Just recently out of jail.
Okay, so when you were out of jail, why were you going through your pockets to see if anything would give you issues? I don't understand. You were not on your way in. You were on your way out.
Yes. They were using esoteric technology and, like, psychotropic weapons.
Okay, I get it now. Okay. I get it, Jeremy. So,
Jeremy,
Jeremy, where was your coat? Where was your coat when you were going through these? Where was it? Where was it?
I was wearing it.
Okay, so when you went into jail, they took it into custody with you, right, and stored it? And then when you left, you took your jacket, huh?
Yeah. When I left, I took my jacket with me, yes. Correct.
What does this homeless man have to do? That's the part. What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. But
you just said something about giving a homeless man your jacket.
No, a guy was standing on the sidewalk, a man who I did not know.
You gave your jacket to a man on the sidewalk?
No, the police department gave my jacket to a man on the sidewalk.
I get it, but then why was your jacket there when you got out of jail?
Well, I went to jail the night before. I had just got out of jail, so I went back to jail again. So when I went back to jail, the officer, instead of taking the jacket with me and putting it in my property, he gave it to some man. And when I asked him, well, who was that man you just gave my coat to, he told me, you're going to jail. You lied to me about your name. And about 11 blocks later, I was at the jail.
Okay.
So.
So now what?
Yeah. So my jacket was never put on my booking list. It's on a statement that the officer wrote, stating that he had out of my black leather jacket pocket pulled a wristband from the hospital out, which stated my name. And so he arrested me based on the name that I gave him, and that name didn't match.
Does anyone understand what's going on? I don't understand what's going on. The police gave your jacket away.
Yes.
And then you got out of jail, and then what? Let's just take it one step at a time, because I want to try to understand where you're coming from. So after you got out of jail, you found your jacket, right?
No.
Okay.
I did not.
So is that what you're calling about? You want your jacket?
I want to know who the man was they gave my jacket to and why. And I would like the jacket back, yes, and I'd like to know who's been wearing it.
Okay. Do you think there's anything deeper than meets the eye, or is it just they took your jacket? Was it your jacket? Maybe they thought it wasn't your jacket. I mean, that seems weird. It seems weird to me that they would just turn around and give your jacket away. I don't understand that.
I don't either. But
now you said they're using weird weapons. That's the part where I start thinking, okay, maybe this guy's a Looney Tune. Tell me what you mean by that.
Esoteric weapon or esoteric technology.
Okay, do you even know what you're saying when you say esoteric?
I believe I have the idea.
It's not electronic. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Esoteric is used usually in literature and other things, or esoteric is in society. It's like what it means is like cloaked a little. Only a few will understand it. I don't know. So you're talking about technology now. You most likely now listen. Jeremy. I'm gonna do something no one else will do. I'm gonna be straight with you, and that means that I'm suspecting that you suffer from some form of mental illness that is creating paranoia. Now, you might think I'm mean for saying that, but I'm honest with you. That's what I'm suspecting when people start talking about electronic stuff going on. So what weapons are they using against you? And I hope you understand how open I'm being with you, so you can be as open as well. There are no right or wrong answers. What weapons do you think Greeley police what are they using it?
I don't know. Just Greeley police. I don't know who was all involved in it.
But what weapons are being used against you? Normally, it has to do with satellites, helicopters.
That would be like by microwaves, frequencies, supersonic.
Yep. Okay, and they're aiming them at your head.
No, electronic harassment.
Electronic harassment. That's the first one. No, honest to goodness. Now listen. What do you mean? Give me an example of electronic harassment, sir.
They'll target you for some reason, being maybe you're somebody people listen to, somebody people is expendable, a leader, and it's something that somebody else is threatened by. So they'll launch some sort of a smear campaign against you, and they'll start using.
Well, give me an idea.
Against you to make you.
Give me an idea of something right now being harassed electronically. What are you doing right now? What are they doing to you right now?
Right now, they're doing nothing. I'm just kind of pacing, and I'm talking to you because you're the first person that's giving me the time of day to actually express myself.
Well, but I was also honest thinking that it might be mental illness.
Yeah, no, I'm not mentally ill. This has been something that's been happening to me throughout my life, and I finally had to, research.
Well, can I ask you something? No, and people may ask why I'm doing this because I strive to understand. I think we all benefit from understanding whether Jeremy's nuts or not. We do. And my question to you is this: why, little old Jeremy, do people care about spying on you? I always ask this of people when they tell me they have a brain implant or people are watching them or stuff. My main question is this, Jeremy: why? Why do they want you? What is so important about Jeremy that they need to spy on you?
I represent change.
What kind of change? Jeremy, you said it's been happening your whole life. What kind of change do you represent?
I represent change for people, for everybody to get along a little bit better and have.
Okay, so Jeremy, so years ago when you were born and you were a young man, alarms went off, and the officials got together and said, okay, we got a guy, Jeremy, who lives in Colorado. We need to start watching him, surveilling him because he represents change. Is that basically what you think went on?
That's a pretty good way. I didn't think of it that way, but that's potentially it's
okay. Jeremy, listen. I'm curious. I want to say right now, though, are you in the clear right now? You don't need any real direct help at this point, right?
I do. I'm kind of being boxed in by some of this stuff that's been happening to me. I do feel pressured. I feel boxed in. I feel surrounded by those who have been paid by certain groups.
Are you working right now, Jeremy?
No, I'm not. I'm trying to clean up my house here. I have a rental that I'm renting, and I've had.
How old are you, Jeremy? How old are you?
42.
And how long have you ever been married?
I have been married a few times, yes.
3 times. Can you tell me when these feelings started of paranoia?
Probably about close to 3 decades ago. I was always a scared kid.
Okay.
I would have my hands. I would be clutched around the.
But you always thought people. You always thought people were after you. Now, whether you agree with it or not, have you ever gotten mental health counseling?
I have.
Okay, and does it help?
Not so much.
Have you ever been on medications?
I have.
Are you off medications now?
I am. I take some ibuprofen here and there.
Okay, I mean like
psych meds.
You don't take any psych meds?
No, I haven't taken any recently.
Okay. Jeremy, maybe you ought to look for some counseling to see what you can do to help yourself through this, because I doubt I'm telling you, you called me for advice, and I'm telling you what I think. I don't think they're after you or spying on you, or I don't think anyone gives a damn about any of us to do that. I mean, now I'm not talking about terrorism and stuff like that. I'm talking about most people, they're not really being spied on. I mean, I think overall, we're monitored as a society for anything that stands out, red flags, but I don't think on a day-to-day basis they're probing your brain or watching your email, or they care what you do, really. And I don't know if that gives you any relief. And I hope people understand. I've devoted some time to this call. Do you want to know why? Because Jeremy is not just Jeremy. Jeremy represents a lot of people. And you have to ask yourself, why? Why do people want to spy on you? What is it? And maybe you can, whether you agree with me or not, if you think you're totally sane, sometimes it's just good to get some counseling. And Jeremy, if you need anyone to listen to you in that realm and you can't afford it, I want you to let me know. Doctor.
Is he a veteran suffering from PTSD? Has he been in service?
Are you a veteran, Jeremy?
No, sir, I'm not.
All right. By the way, I just wanted to say that our doc is in the house today, Deputy Doc. He comes in to help out, and thank you for being here, Dr. Ken. Okay, so you've heard this a million times, haven't you? Even though psychiatry is not your thing, have you heard this a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I think he definitely needs help.
Yeah. And you did OBGYN for how many years?
Oh, about 35, 40 years.
We have more coming right up.
It's called a smartphone.
She needs to talk to you, Ken. She needs you to do it.
Yeah, I know it's not. You have 3 voicemails.
I'm going on strike, so I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
All right.
Download the Allstate app today. Savings may vary by state and federal standards, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Use of Allstate mobile with activation and drive-bys required.
So it's very similar.
You know what's really important is that when you listen to this show, you use a pen and you take down notes. CrackerjackMudjacking.com. You know, the name says they do mudjacking. To you, it doesn't matter. What it is concrete repair of all kinds, free estimates. They can, in short, through their techniques, they can save your concrete, the ones that are cracking and sinking. And you ought to just keep that name, CrackerjackMudjacking.com, and get a free estimate before committing to a brand new set of concrete and a bunch of money. 303-410-7780.
Now offers the ultimate in security and accessibility for your garage door. With LiftMaster MyKey technology, you can now monitor how long your garage door has been open or closed and operate your
How many times, Mark, have we heard? How many times have we heard? Dan, since you've been here even, how many times have we heard that? And what do you think when you do? Dano?
What are you talking about?
Paranoia. How many times do you recall?
No, you're right. I knew this guy was.
But what do you do? I mean,
right, I agree.
But isn't it always the same? That's what's amazing to me is how everyone follows the same kind of pattern.
Paranoia is paranoia.
Hey, have you ever had? This might be sad, but have you ever had any moms, due to stress and stuff, start getting weird like this when they're pregnant?
No.
Oh, really? Because I thought that was a big thing.
Me too. No, we're not talking about that. I was talking about pregnancy, but you're right, postpartum. But I don't want to talk about that now because I have an email. So I don't want him to. I just want to hit him with it. How did you know, Dan? Did you see that?
No. It's just that I thought it was a big thing with a lot of women.
No, I've never had a woman go
weird,
psychotic, pregnant. Or afterwards.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That is wow.
Never had what?
You know that postpartum depression?
Well, postpartum depression is different than paranoia.
Okay.
I mean, depression...
Let's not talk about it right now.
Depression is depression.
Depression is different than...
Right.
Are you saying?
Are you saying? Oh, no.
I just go nuts. I just got nuts normal.
You're talking about your wife?
That's right. Okay. That would be
your
good.
Your wife, then?
What's that?
You're talking about your wife?
No. She never did that. I've never actually been involved.
You know, I actually went to a wedding last night.
I'm pretty ignorant about the whole deal.
I haven't been to a wedding in a long time, and I actually enjoyed myself. I have never enjoyed myself at a wedding. My brother's wedding, maybe. But I've never really enjoyed myself at a wedding, and I enjoyed myself at this wedding immensely. Immensely.
Let's go.
I mean, it was so much fun.
Either way, you win. Doesn't it make sense to at least check before you close on the biggest transaction of your life? Get a free second look. Call Ideal now. 303-867-7000 or
About to Yahoo.
Lowe's.com. Seeing is believing. Hello, I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino, and Icon Eye Care made me a believer. You see, I was tired of wearing glasses and my eyes getting worse and worse over time, so I investigated
Yep, home advisory.
procedure at Icon.
I don't know why I'm not getting Suzanne's email.
What do you need?
Oh, she was sending me an email,
Now,
and I'm not getting it.
where is your email? With what server?
AOL.
Oh my God.
I've never had a problem with AOL.
Does anyone remember the original AOL?
Wasn't that the original? The first email?
No. Do you know something? That the original AOL was like an internet in and of itself. You went to the AOL domain and you went nowhere else. In fact, weren't they before the actual browsers and stuff? You would dial up to AOL.
AOL, right.
Mark, do you remember that?
So how come you get dissed by the station? I'm driving and I hear the KOA and it says, Ross Kaminsky in the morning and
what about it?
Brown in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And they don't say Tom Martino in the middle.
That's usually during the show, though.
Oh,
During the show, they're not going to say who's on. Like if you're listening.
No, he means just regular general.
No, when they have these, when they have announcements, they say.
Yeah, but that they would never do that. That's I don't know why.
No, I don't think you guys are understanding me.
You're wrong, Mark.
During Ross's show, they don't say Ross in the
No,
morning.
I'm talking about it.
Yes, they do.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard.
Are
of
you
it.
saying?
I've heard it. I agree with you, Doc.
Right? They say Ross Kaminsky in the morning, Brown in the afternoon.
Right. They do.
But they don't say me.
They don't say Martino in the middle.
No, but you have your own that play, though. I just don't hear them
No, I
during
do.
the show.
No, you're right. We have our own.
But as a generic one, when they do that, they just mention Ross.
Master Rooter is
But you're saying they play that outside of this show.
Yeah. I don't know about the show because I don't listen to it.
No. What I'm saying is, I don't know how to explain this.
On Ross's show, they bring that up during.
They don't bring up Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. This show, this hour, brought to you by Panacea Life Sciences, CBD that works. Finally, CBD products that work. I took a tablet just before I went on the air. I'm telling you, it's so wonderful. I had this lower back pain. It's not acute, but it's this chronic pain. When I work out, it gets worse. And this really works for pain. It works for anxiety, and it helps sleeplessness, too, depending on the blend. So all you have to do is go to their website, find out more. Real CBD that works.com. My goodness, you don't get much better than that. Than a website called that, right? RealCBDThatWorks.com. So what works in your life? What doesn't work? What do you need help with? Let's talk. We're going to go right to the phones, 303-713-TALK. Now, this thing about Jeremy and paranoia, I'm serious when I tell you this, that Jeremy is just but one of many people who live daily with this anxiety. Daily. And if you're one of them, call us. I mean, I'm not going to make fun of you, but it is truly made up in your head. Now, I know Jeremy will never agree to that, ever. But it's just the way it is. And I think reality checks are better than greasing someone along saying, yeah, we'll look into it. Sean, what's happening?
Hey, Tom, I just want to thank you for coaching Jeremy up on that. But the reason I called, I got a question about the Roundup settlement. If someone got a settlement from, like, the Roundup settlement, would they have to pay taxes on it? And
you know, that's a good question. That's a good question. Most of the time when you have damages, you don't pay tax on them. I would just say no, because usually it's because of a loss, and the settlement makes you whole. You can check with your accounts, but I think in general, we tackled this question just the other day from our attorney, John Fuller, personal injury attorney. So I'm not giving legal advice. I'm repeating what he said, and he said in most cases, damages are not taxed. Don't you remember that, Mark? Because you're being made whole. Now, there are some rare cases with economic damages, like for lost wages, where you would have to pay tax because those are considered income anyway. But
so if you got a settlement for millions of dollars, what would be the first steps that you took to protect that money? What would you do?
Well,
first?
I want to ask something. What would I personally do? What I would personally do right now is I would obviously institutionalize it, okay? I'm not one who believes in holding money like that. And I would probably put it in just a safe, secured account right now, the most I can get for static money. Then I would look for people like APO Financial, or become the banker. And now, obviously, I wouldn't do this whole thing. I'd become the banker, but I'd talk to them, and I would talk to qualified and certified people. I would never talk to just one. I would talk to several people to get a picture. But I've always believed that the most important investment for anyone, the most, because it has a dual function. One is that of shelter. The next is usually equity growth. So I would get a home and have it paid for. That's my very first thing. I would also pay off high interest debt. So those two things alone, the very first two things, high interest debt, that means when you're not paying 18%, it's like making 18%. And then I would buy a home and pay for it, or pay off the home I'm in. Those are the things I would do.
Tom, the person that's getting is like 74 years old, and he wants to be able to give some away.
Well,
how would he do that?
Okay, and here's another thing people do not understand. How much is he getting?
I don't know much. It's millions.
Like, give me an idea. 20 million or 5 million?
Probably more like 88 million.
Oh, come on.
Not happening.
Now, well, what do you say it's not? You mean because it doesn't happen?
One person, 88 million.
There are
from
very few courts
lawsuit?
in the land
No.
that you can even get that money.
They died because of it.
What?
They died because of it.
He what?
They died as a result. They died as a result.
Who's they?
So,
who's they?
The person died a result of Roundup. So.
And then what happened? And then what happened?
They got lymphoma.
Well, okay, but who's the one collecting the money?
The spouse.
Okay, I want to tell you something, just for people listening. In all courts, in all lands, there are usually limits, okay, usually, except for rare occasions. It used to be that there were only rare limits, but most of the time there are limits somewhere when it comes to malpractice, loss of limbs or stuff. Well, I shouldn't say most of the time. Let's just say a good amount of the time there are built-in statutory limits. Then you have other kinds of damages where there are no limits, but I will say this. You never hear of awards usually over 10 million.
Google it.
Highest award paid in.
Google what they're getting, Tom.
Highest award paid in a Roundup suit. Okay. Okay, I will. So listen. Bottom line is this: you asked what he can give away. Okay, in your lifetime, you can give away. Right now, $11 million tax-free on both ends. Well, you've already paid tax when you got it, except he won't pay tax on it because it's an award. So you get, if he had $88 million, he can give $11 million away in his lifetime. The rest is tax. Just wait one sec, Mark. So that means, but a lot of people think you can only give 14 away, and that's not true. If you give more than 14,000 away in any one year, the additional money goes against your lifetime exclusion of 11 million. So if he gave, for example, let's just give an example, 1,014,000 to somebody, that 14,000 he can do without going against his limit. The extra million would be accounted against his $11 million limit. So when he accumulates $11 million of gifts, he then has to, then there's inheritance tax after that. So to make a long story short, Sean, he can give anything he wants away, okay? If he wants to, until he gets to 11 million. He doesn't have to stay under 14,000. Does he want to give you money, Sean?
I'm not gonna say. I just want to make sure he's protected because, like I said, he's 74 years old.
You said he's
and
dead.
I love him a lot.
You said he's dead.
His spouse is.
His spouse is dead, Tom.
Okay, but I don't think I'm going to say to you, I don't think anybody got any. No, I don't. Nope.
2 people just got like 89 million, and they didn't even die from
No,
it, Tom.
$2 billion total was for the whole class. What?
I heard it's 8 billion,
wait,
and they haven't even.
You're telling me?
Class.
Wait, Ed, ugly Ed. You're telling me that there was an award for billions given to one person?
Roundup jury awards couple $2 billion. A judge reduced it to $87 million.
Oh, come on. Where is that? Send me the link.
I'll do it right now.
I did not. Sean, anyway, I hope I answered your question. But would you invite this? Would you tell this guy I want to meet him, have lunch with him, and be his friend? I would love to be his friend. And you know what? You might laugh and think, he's just kidding. I'm not kidding. I'll tell you why. Seriously. I'll remember one time on Channel 4. I was on Channel 4 for 20 years. I was covering a lottery winner. He won, I think it was like $9 million. But I don't know why that comes to mind. So listen to what I did. I said to him, listen, sir, I don't want a dime from you. Not one dime, nothing, no donations, nothing. This was after the news conference. I said, but just take my card and call me if you need help, because they're going to descend upon you like vultures. And most people who get lottery settlements end up broke or in more trouble. Now, I said, please do this. He called me the next day. Wait till you hear what happened.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino.
That was in California, too. That was a California couple that was awarded that.
Really? Is that, Mark, do you find that shocking?
I don't know if they got the money.
I'm sure it's not done.
I don't think they ever will.
Did you figure it out?
No, I'm working on it.
That's okay. There's that.
Okay.
So, for
How
after
can
the
you
show
be-
or whatever.
Tell me what the circumstances were. Was it punitive?
I don't know what punitive, but he was like a gardener that used it quite a bit.
Why would he be worth $88 million? Any kind of loss.
That's exactly right. I totally agree. And he was older gentleman. You're right.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying people aren't.
California.
Free credit scores and
California jury.
credit monitoring. And Credit Karma too.
Anyway,
Nuts.
Download the Credit Karma app.
how do you pronounce your last name, Ken?
Man-free.
Manfree? Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal. Dave, who founded Rocky's, I've known him since he started. He started in a small store and then moved it to Federal, 63rd and Federal. He's been around as long as I have in Denver. He started right around the time I got here, used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans, and grew it to a giant dealership with plenty of selection, and I was always blown away that I never got complaints. Honest to goodness. So, he's on my referral list at referralist.com, Rocky's Autos. They do really family-friendly, kid-friendly, pet-friendly atmospheres and sales. And you know what? It's a very simple process. You put money down, you finance the rest. 40 lenders to choose from. Better pricing, better trade-in values, no pressure. They have a great selection. Check them out for yourself. Listen, all they want to do is be put on the list. They can compete. 63rd and Federal, Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, Saturdays, 9 to 6, 303-426-4646, Rocky's Autos. What are you working so intently on, Mark?
Answering all these things before I leave, man. All these document requests. Okay, I know what I can do too. Who do we know? Oh, I know what we can do.
PetSmart understands that sometimes your pet sounds like this. When you want them to sound like this, we recommend giving them this. Delicious and nutritious American Canidae, 2 of the latest arrivals to PetSmart's selection of natural pet foods. Give your pets kibble, wet food, and treats from American Canidae. You want it? We got it. We're PetSmart. Save up to $2 on American Canidae dry food, in-store only while supplies last. See store for details.
Oh my God.
You know what I hate more than anything? Taxes. Doing taxes, talking about taxes, all taxes.
Third-party listings of these types of these. Let's see the purpose of that.
Now $269. And get a new dual tough grip 52-piece steel shake for fit set for just $14.98. Saving $5. Even more ways Lowe's saves your business money. Stop by the Pro Desk and talk to our dedicated Pro team today. Whatever you need to get the job done, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
I gotta get this.
Denver's Talk Station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. He helps you more than anyone I've ever seen when it comes to buying your house, your dream house, or selling the one you're in. When he lists it, they clean it, they stage it. He does video, they do photos, but the main thing, he does proactive selling. He doesn't just put up a sign. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. A great person, firm, team. That's it, Frank. And he's with RE/MAX Alliance, 303-920-1622. Property tax question from Rick. But I want to tell you the story about the lottery winner. So I'm doing a news conference with a bunch of people at when I worked for Channel 4, and then I told them afterwards, I said, listen, man, if you ever need my help, I want you to call me. I want nothing. I will take nothing. I'll never want anything. But I know they're going to descend upon you like vultures, people wanting you to invest and people wanting you to do all kinds of things or manage your money. And you always have to ask this, always, in every single question. What do they want? They always have a story. Okay, come with me. I'll show you this. I'll do this. I'll do this. Well, are you doing it? Well, they always have a story. But no matter what, you will need a professional. But what professional? You always have to know, pure and simple, how much are you costing me? And if somebody says, oh, I'm not making any money, I just do this because, no, that's not true. Do not believe it. The reason I could help and I didn't want any money is because I did that as a job, and I'm being paid by iHeart, and back then I was being paid also by Channel 4. So the thing you can do is know that, first of all, everyone is out to get a portion of what you have. Everyone. The next thing, guess what happened to him the next day? He called me and said, Tom, I can't believe this. There are people camped out in my driveway. They found him. I believe he lived in a mountain community. I want to say Grand Junction, but I don't remember all the details. They were camping out. One woman camped out because with her son who needed medical care. Now, think about that pressure. I mean, obviously, we all want to help people, right? But think about trying to do that on an individual basis, but they were lined up, and he felt compelled to give them at least something. That is real. What would you do? What, Deputy Dan, if you woke up the next day after winning $9 million and there was a woman camped out and said, my son needs medical procedure, I can't afford it, what would you do? And she's one of like a few people out there. What would you can't, do you look at him and say no? Or do you say, okay, here's a check for $300,000? What do you do?
I think you'd almost have to start, if you're willing to give it away, some type of a fund that, and just get away from it.
But the right answer is, you know what? I just got this money, right? I don't know what to do. But people say, oh, Tom, you're stingy. If I had $9 million, I'd do it. Yeah, but she wasn't the only one lined up. And then what if there's someone more, needs your help more? It's just so weird. Like, where do you start? Anyway, I just threw that in. Let's go and talk about taxes and all of that, like property tax question. And then Mary has a very interesting call. Hey, first Rick, though. Then Mary's going to tell us about her son who's like that Jeremy guy. Hey, Rick, what's happening?
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Good. What can we do to help you?
Hey, I just had a quick question for you. The property tax question I have to ask about is here. I live in Michigan. Last year is when we got our house out here, and our summer taxes were like $1,075.
What do you mean by summer taxes? I don't understand that.
They have it different out here, where you get a summer tax and then a winter tax.
They basically split your property tax into two bills.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, they do that. They do that in Colorado. They have two payments. Yeah, if you want.
Right. And the thing is, $1,075 for summer, and then it was like $625 for winter. So altogether, $1,700.
Okay.
Well, we got a property tax bill not too long ago for summer, and it is $2,300.
Just for summer?
Just for summer.
Well, and what jurisdiction are you talking about right now?
Michigan.
Yeah, but where? In other words, is this your state tax, or is this a city tax, or what kind of a tax is it?
It's like city tax.
Well, you say like, okay. Well, your taxes are broken down, right? When you pay property tax for schools and stuff, and then all property tax is broken down. Don't you have, Dan, have you looked at a bill recently?
Right.
Okay, what do you have? You have
state,
for the state, for tax,
what's all used for,
sewer
fire
districts,
department. Exactly.
So what I want to do is look at your tax bill, and I want to know, where did the increase come in? What section? Was it school taxes specifically?
No, this is the kicker. So the house that we live in, we've lived there. It's a farmhouse. So last year it was considered a farmhouse. Well, this year they're considering it a cottage, only for like a vacation house. And
but how did that? Hold on. But I don't understand. How much land are we talking about? Actual land?
5 acres.
Okay. Here's what happened, because I had this happen to me when I used to develop land. If you're in a residential area where the lot size is 5 acres, okay, then you would have, let's say, a rural property with 5 acres, and you're assessed a certain amount. But if you're in an area where it's not prohibited and it can be subdivided, they tax you not on developed land, but on potential. So it's more than farmland, not quite as much as developed land, but somewhere in between. And it could easily jump like that. Why did they reclassify your property? Hold on.
Now, impact traffic.
Secondary home.
Do you have
Minnesota does this on lake cabins. If they got the primary and the lake cabin taxes.
So tell me, why would that be so much more?
Because it's not their primary home.
Yeah, but what? But are vacation homes here taxed more?
I don't think
I think it's just tax based on mill levy.
Minnesota and stuff, it's huge difference.
Wait a minute. So if you have a second home, it's noted on your appraisal. So even though somebody next door to you who lives there pays one levy, you pay another one.
It's like a homestead thing.
Are you shitting?
No, Minnesota's huge. That's out there. We get all the lake cabins. We get huge taxes.
Fix it long.
Do you have the TV spots for referral list and radio spots? Are they still on Dropbox?
I think, or I can get them to you in no time. Oh, what do they want? They want to see them?
Yeah.
Credit Karma. Here's to progress.
So let's talk about home services, plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. I'm going to tell you right now, with weather like this, people react. So they might be busy. I urge you to shop around, but they'll still give you a free second opinion. If you're told you need a new furnace, I'm talking about Fix It 24/7. You want honesty, you want dependability, you want quality, experience. That's what you get with Fix It 24/7. And they'll give you free second opinions. And especially now, when it's cold, people will lie to you. They'll tell you, you need a new furnace, or you need a water heater, you need to do this, you need to do that. Please, don't get ripped off. Shop around. Make Fix It one of them. Fix It 24/7 you can depend on. And remember, they are busy, but they will get to you, and they always offer you a 100% satisfaction guarantee. 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. The website, fixmyhome.com. I did not set my timer, so I'm curious. How long was that on my own mind? I did it. Are you? Whoa, baby. That is cool.
So Michigan has a $38,000 homestead exemption.
Well, what does that mean, though?
So if it's your homestead, the one you live on, your first $38,000.
Oh, so that you're always taxed at least that much more.
Right.
But then do they have a higher mill?
That I don't know.
Very interesting.
I would say the mill depends upon the area too.
Yeah, because they couldn't possibly keep track of that, could they? Hey, Mark. When is Halloween?
Thursday.
You're gonna be off. Okay. I'm gonna do something fun. Past life regression is live on there.
Where would I get Here, pause that.
However, if I doubled your income, that could make a significant impact on your retirement. Whether you're retired or want to see how soon that can happen, give me a call to set up a complimentary, no-obligation visit. I'll show you how I can help you get the most sustainable income out of Social Security, your 401ks, your IRAs, rental properties, and your brokerage accounts. When you know what's coming in this month, next month, and every month thereafter, you'll be able to enjoy retirement to the fullest. Retire happy. Retire with Tucker. You can reach us at 303-734-1234. That's 303-734-1234. RetireWithTucker.com.
This is not an offer to buy or sell. Securities are offered through Tucker Asset Management.
Any insulation is beneficial, but there's one kind of insulation that tops them all. That's Rocky Mountain Retro Foam. Not the foam you see in a can. I'm talking about premium injection foam, designed to fill closed wall cavities. Keep in mind, we got Dr. Doc here, Deputy Doc, we can use.
I'm trying to get this so I can get my
Where's my IP lawsuit? Nigel.
Ask Alexa to play 630 KHOW. Then you can hear Michael Brown straighten out the liberal left this afternoon at 2.
Getting 630 KHOW from iHeartRadio.
Denver's talk station.
On your smart speaker.
Available on over 2,000 devices.
I'm Tom Martino. Welcome to the show. Our number is 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Rick, we are looking into the property tax question. Here's the deal. Did your valuation change, the actual valuation, in addition to the tax? I think you said it did because now they're considering it a cottage?
Correct. We had the house was assessed earlier this year. And since then, right after that is when we got our tax bill.
Okay. Okay. So here's the deal. There are many jurisdictions that will charge more only because you're not getting the exemption for primary residence. Were you ever getting a primary residence? Were you ever getting an exemption?
No.
So what changed then?
That's what we've called the county to ask, and see what's going on.
You can't, and they say we don't know, basically, because because the process for objecting to taxes is basically the same around the country. Was this the tax bill or the assessed valuation?
It's a tax bill.
You never protested your valuation. That's when you should have done it.
When we got the house assessed?
No. That when the county assesses you and they send you a valuation, you can protest it. Now, you can still do it. In every jurisdiction in the country, whether it's a local or state tax, you can protest property taxes. You go through the procedure. Now, we had it, I'm going to try to send you the PDF that'll explain the process. It explains the process for Colorado, but it is applicable to any state with changes here and there. But you really can protest. And do you know that the first time out, when you protest, statistics show about 90% get an adjustment. And then if you go farther up the line, your success gets a little worse, but it is always skewed toward the consumer or the taxpayer. In other words, it's a pretty good process. So, Rick, if you leave your email, we'll give you, we can't do it on the phone. We can't tell you why that just happened, but I will say this. That protesting taxes will make them show you what they did. You then can go out and find comparables and make your argument based on this book. It's called Real Estate for Pennies. It's about Colorado. But, yes, Suzanne.
I have his most updated PDF. I'm going to email it.
Excellent. Thank you, Suzanne. We have that updated PDF for those who might want it. In fact, I may post it somewhere for people. If we get enough requests, okay? So if you call us or email us, we'll post it somewhere where you can download it. I'm not sure where, but we will look for a place or give a Dropbox link maybe. That might be cool. Hey, Mary.
Hi, Tom. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Mary, someone told me one time, and I don't know how bad or how much your son suffers. Someone told me one time that having a mentally ill child is one of the most difficult things to deal with in your life. Some parents have said that the death of a child sometimes is easier to deal with than someone who is so mentally ill they'll never have happiness. Now, I'm not saying that's in your case, but someone once told me that, and I'm talking about a parent who knew a parent who lost a child and then someone who was living with mental illness. And the one that was living with mental illness, it was almost the woman who lost a son with mental illness. I'm not going to call it a blessing, but it was almost easier for her than the one living with the child with mental illness. So tell me what's going on.
I would probably have to agree with you, Tom. You know, when I heard Jeremy's story, though, my husband, and he's home on vacation, and we couldn't believe what we were hearing because I've heard that same stuff out of my 40-year-old son, who has been in and out of prison and the jail system for years now. And he thinks satellites are following him, that they're above his head. He thinks that people are following him and watching his every move. And I thought, well, I feel sorry for this Jeremy guy, and I feel sorry for my son, too, because obviously he's been in drugs. But I'm just wondering if there's some kind of communication within these facilities.
You know, Mary, the stories are so the same that they scare you. What I would love for you to do, because other parents are listening, and maybe you can fill us in. If you hold on, just put the phone down for a few minutes and come back in about 6 minutes. I'd love to talk to you further to find out the telltale signs. I'm Tom Martino for Ideal. Ask her to just
Do you remember that one, the fast filers?
Yeah, what about them? Yes, what do you need to know about them? Bankruptcy attorneys.
Yeah, I sued them. I need the information.
Did we win?
Yeah, I always win. Or settled, I shouldn't say won.
Were they trying not to pay?
I don't remember, but I remember it was one of them.
I've never talked to the kids. I've just...
Think of real quick nationwide scope. So podcast, I'm in the works of figuring out. Give me some other ways.
Okay. To prove the nationwide scope? Yeah. I have articles from in the past, so that was way in the past from my show.
Like what? What do you have?
Like, I don't know, I gotta look. I have some articles about being syndicated in New York.
How do we prove with documents that we have listeners all over the country? We both know we do.
How about emails?
I have no way of searching.
What about our download frequency?
That I'm working on, but outside of that, what else?
Well, if we go through our live email,
I wonder on the app itself, forget about the podcast. On the actual app, you can listen live. I wonder where we get that data. Be the same one. I'm waiting for her to free up.
We have over 500 firefighters that are on listeners who say they are.
Doesn't matter. It's got to be a document.
Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti. President Trump says he's considering releasing footage.
Does YouTube? Can you poke around YouTube and Facebook and see if there's any kind of? There's no stats where people are from.
Right, but it's almost impossible because it could be just where you say they're from because you could be doing your email or your thing.
That's what I got to do. So I'm going to go.
Kill the sound on this computer, please.
There's still no deal in sight between the city and public school teachers. This is
It's okay. I won't play it.
Reset password.
And hey, listen, no more. Kill that one more time, Dan.
All of this is playing out during what's been described as a nasty divorce. New evidence that trade tensions are affecting the economy.
A new survey of business conditions finds the economic engine is still humming along, but something's tapping the brakes.
The economy is still strong, but the economy is slowing.
Frank Nodeff with the National Association for Business Economics says that something is ongoing trade issues, especially with China.
It's raised the cost of goods coming into the United States.
He says the ongoing trade war is also starting to slow hiring. As for the threat of a recession,
whenever growth slows, that does raise the specter of recession risk.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Apple says that people with the iPhone 5 must update to the latest available software before November 3rd. If not, several key functions will no longer work. Adrian Bankert, ABC News.
Haul packages for a living? A gas-powered Mercedes-Benz Sprinter delivers. Transport people? A Sprinter van with 0% financing is a
five-star idea.
That is why Mark, Dano, that's why Mark makes the big bucks. And you're groveling. He is the man.
And it's built for your bottom line with 0% financing. the Mercedes-Benz Sprinter, starting at just $33,790. And for a limited time, with IRS Section 179, you can be eligible for up to a $25,000 tax deduction. Gas engine, 0% financing, and a possible tax deduction. Now that's a Sprinter that delivers. Mercedes-Benz.
When we go on the air, you'll have to. Wow, we have a lot.
I'll get this done before we go on the air.
2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans excluding cab chassis.
The Watchman, I gotta see that.
January 2nd, 2004. Consult your tax advisor for more information. Visit ndvans.com.
Yes, I'm having trouble getting my email, and I want to reset my password.
K-How News Time, 11:03. Snow and weather could present a problem for most of the day as temps will be below freezing. CDOT's Tamara Rolson says crews were able to get some work done ahead of yesterday's storm.
My account is Ken Manfrey, KenManfre @AOL.com.
But the big storm could roll in tomorrow just in time for your drive home.
Tuesday, we may see 1 to 3 inches of snow, but it's really Tuesday night to Wednesday morning when you may wake up to as much as a foot of snow in your neighborhood. If you think roads are bad today, wait till Wednesday morning.
This is like really.
Say it again.
Abnormal late October weather.
My name is Ken Manfrey.
Kelsey Barrett, the Woodland Park mom, disappeared nearly a year ago. Friends are facing jury murder charges in connection with her death. And in sports, the Nuggets are home tonight to take on the Kings. The
It's going to be a cold Halloween.
Be at home against the Panthers. That's the latest. I'm Chad.
What do you know?
No, it's going to be a lot more.
Are you telling me?
Report is sponsored by SCL Health System.
Are you telling me?
There's going to be less trick-or-treaters out.
I'm telling you. Right lane and shoulder block, solid backups.
Do you have fun? Stephanie and I get such a kick, or do you keep the lights off? And
No, I get candy away if I don't have fun.
You
Luckily, I'm
bastard, you.
I'm playing racquetball, so I missed
You bastard.
Off to the left shoulder. Weather forecast.
So you dress up in a mask and everything?
No, but we put little decorations on the. Yeah. Honest to God, but they really are. Some of them are so freaking cute.
Having a baby.
Really, we have so much fun.
That's why choosing your team is so important. SCL Health's network of doctors and midwives offer a personalized approach to pregnancy and childbirth. With locations across Metro Denver, find one near you at sclhealth.org/baby.
PetSmart understands that sometimes your pet sounds like this. When you want them to sound like this, we recommend giving them this. Delicious and nutritious American Canada, 2 of the latest arrivals to PetSmart's selection of natural pet food.
No, this is just
Give
wallet.
your pets kibble, wet food, and treats from American Canada. You want it?
I gotta figure out who the wallet.
Save up to $2 on American Canada dry food. In-store only while supplies last. See store for details.
You know, I can read the tiniest of print without glasses at 65, and you can too with a clear lens exchange. Oh, you can do LASIK. They're experts at LASIK. They have done hundreds of thousands of LASIK procedures. But what about brand new lenses where you'll never get cataracts? You'll never need glasses. They'll never tint or yellow. They'll never wear out. You'll have like bionic eyes. A clear lens exchange. That's what I did. Perfect Vision. Icon. iCare.com. 866-GOT. Icon. IconEyecare.com. Go with the sure thing.
Yeah, I have a piece of paper.
Okay, guys.
T.
Okay, we're going to be going on the air, so thank you.
That's hand to 200-200. This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Hey, Tom Martino here. This hour brought to you by Panacea, CBD products that work. Panacea Life, a local pharmaceutical lab. People order from all over the country. They're in our backyard in Golden. PanaceaLifeSciences.com. But here's how you order. It's even better. It's real CBD that works.com. I want to make sure of that. Let's see. Yeah, it's real CBD products that work.com. Well, no, real CBD that works.com. Anyway, I'll find it. And I want to know in your life anything that works that you can help us with. As Christmas is coming upon us faster than you'd like to believe, I would like to know what you have found, anything, not just CBD, that you would want to buy as a gift. What is it? What is it? Tell me what you have found. 303-713-TALK. I'd like to know. So it's realcbdthatworks.com. Realcbdthatworks.com. I just checked it. So what in your life, if you had to pick something and you want to give it as a gift, what would it be? Now, let's talk to Mary. This is very important. We have lines open at 303-713-TALK. This show is unlike any show you've ever heard, live on Facebook, live on YouTube, the iHeartRadio app all over the country, and here at our flagship in Denver, KHOW, and other radio affiliates. Here's what I want to know. Have you had experience with mental illness? Because it's almost like they're reading from the same book. Mary heard this woman call earlier. Jeremy's mom. Oh, no, excuse me. Heard Jeremy call. I'm sorry. And Jeremy was explaining how people are spying on him. Then other women have called in the past for their sons, and other men have called for their sons. It's mostly men, but it does happen to women, but we get mostly men. But they feel like satellites are following them, or someone has implanted something in their brain. They used to talk about helicopters. Now they even talk about drones. They talk about people coming into their apartment, and I know they've been there. I can tell. It's a paranoia that for some reason they're special, and they're being watched or manipulated. It's a terrible thing to go through, and parents have shared with me at times that I wish she could have peace. And as I said, there have been parents who've lost mentally ill children and say, at least now that child is at peace because they're so tormented. So, Mary, you say when you heard this caller, Jeremy, it's what you've been hearing from your son for years. And why, the reason I kept you on, I wanted to ask you some questions. I think parents want to know, when does it start? Did you know something was peculiar with your son right off the bat? I'm going to call him Johnny just for the heck of it. So what did you think? Or when?
No. My son has been in and out of the prison and jail system for quite a while.
But he was totally, let's go back as a little boy. Totally normal, or did he do crazy, weird things?
No, he didn't. He was a total normal kid, to be honest with you.
Until when? When did things happen?
Well, when he was 13 and 14, I lost control of my son, to be honest with you.
What was it?
He was into drugs and alcohol and all that stuff, okay? So I know that he's had issues. He's had issues with women. But this recent stuff about people following him and that kind of thing has been happening in the last maybe 5 years. And it's been since he tells me that they give everybody when they're incarcerated, mind-altering drugs. They give them psych meds. They give them drugs for an eating disorder, which he said he didn't even swallow because he knew he didn't have an eating disorder. But I've had my other son was in the county prison over here in Denver for about 6 months. They put him on pills. They dropped him out when he was let out. They don't give him anything. They don't give him a prescription.
No, I understand. Now the son that's mentally ill, okay?
Yeah.
Was he ever married?
Oh my God. Several times. He's got kids everywhere.
Does he have? Was there an incident? Was there something that just tipped him? Was there any highly emotional incident you think that really made a difference? What was it?
Yeah, it was when his first wife broke the marriage up, and his 2 kids were kind of taken away from him, and he's gone downhill since then.
But he was always weird. You said he got into drugs and alcohol, but. When he was 13, 14, but was he exhibiting mental illness at that time?
No, just bad decisions.
Yeah.
He's made.
Now here's what I want to know: Did the bad decisions of alcohol and drugs and the crowd contribute to the mental illness, or was he mentally ill then? And it was just stewing and growing? What came first? Do our habits and our crowd, we start doing drugs and we start doing bad things, whereas another kid doesn't. And then this other kid who's doing these bad things, all of a sudden now he starts getting paranoid and all that. Was that always there, or was it sparked by the usage of substances and lifestyle? Now, there are those who say, no, you're destined. If you're mentally ill, it'll just come out someday no matter what. But,
no, I think it was sparked by him getting into meth, to be honest with you.
Oh, God, meth.
And becoming homeless. He just makes horrible decisions.
Is he still on meth? Well, most likely, unless he took...
No,
No?
I actually called you a couple of weeks ago about his car being towed to Ace Towing because he was in a mental health facility. He put himself there, and his car was stolen. And so they had his car, and I was wondering how much they were going to charge. And I'm the one that's like, oh, do I have to pay for this to get his car out? Because that's all he owns. And he only had to pay like $150.
That's good.
Somebody else do that.
So Mary, what's the prospect for a kid like this? Does he ever grow up?
No, I don't think so, Tom, to be honest with you. I don't.
But he's got to acknowledge there's a problem. He's got to acknowledge there's a problem in order to be medicated if medication can help. And
yeah. He's on meds now. But
is it helping?
Floating around. I don't know. He's just floating around in life like he has no direction, and he hooks onto another woman in this facility, and he just can't be alone and work on himself. He just won't allow himself to do that.
Do you help him all the time, or have you shown tough love?
You know what? This weekend was the last straw. This weekend I had it, and I'm done. He's 40 years old. I don't need this in my life anymore, and neither does my husband. He tried to bring his girlfriend here to stay overnight because she's homeless, and she was thrown out of this mental health. It was her turn to leave this mental health facility. They're just letting these people leave without any help, and it's
mental illness to me is one of the most complicated, terrible things we face. We don't, if your son had epilepsy or diabetes, or if your son was, if he had a broken leg, I mean, we know how to deal with that stuff. And one of the problems with mental illness, it would be akin to a guy that doesn't feel pain and having a broken leg, and it will never set because he won't stay off it, even though you tell him you're doing damage to your leg. He can't feel it. He doesn't acknowledge it. And even though he can hardly walk, he doesn't acknowledge there's a problem. Mental illness is like that. You know that there are problems in your life, but you never say, I'm mentally ill. It's everyone else's fault. And it's not what's really happening. And I don't know what the answer is. It would be different if we didn't need acknowledgement, but we need acknowledgement, or the treatment. You won't seek the treatment. The hardest thing with someone bipolar, this is just one of the offshoots. I'm not suggesting your son is bipolar. One of the biggest things is when you are bipolar and you start getting into that euphoric state, you don't want to take your meds because you perceive them as bringing you down, and you want to be the quarterback for the Broncos. I mentioned that because I had an intern that came out of college. He had was going to college. He had a lot of pressure on him to be really good. And it sparked something in him, a bipolar event. He was convinced he could be a walk-on quarterback for the Broncos. And he showed up at training camp with his car packed and stuff. It was sad. People covered it, and were making fun of him because they didn't understand. I watched him on TV, said, oh, that kid is going through a bipolar incident right now. And it was terrible. So I don't know an answer. I'd like to know if someone experienced bipolar and got themselves on track and they acknowledge it. John, you want to talk about the rental car. Now, is this purchasing one of the rental cars or renting the dollar rental?
It's renting a dollar rental
Okay.
car.
All right. I want to talk to you about it coming right up. Hang on.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And
so sad.
Could you imagine if Addie was saying to you, Mom, I know they're
Hey, Ed, what time's my spot?
My God, what do you do?
I don't know, Tom. Sad.
I'll call this guy tonight.
Thank you, Ken.
No
I'm going to
problem.
give him an email letting him know that we have a letter that you didn't get it till today.
Okay.
So, yeah, so
Great.
he knows we didn't drop the ball on him.
I got to pull about 40 contracts.
By the way, when I...
Okay, hold on. I'm Tom Martino, and MileHighEstatePlanning.com is a company, a law firm you need to write down and keep for the future. Blake Harris. Now, if you did not do estate planning, call him. If you're getting to a point in your life where you're starting to acquire some assets, call him. It's a myth that you don't need estate planning if you're just worth a few $100,000. That's just the opposite. You need it more than anyone. When you get a lot of money, you can fight these lawsuits, like, hundreds of millions or millions. When you don't have that money, you need to protect assets so you never have to go to court. Blake Harris can do trusts. He can form, amend, dissolve. He can do revocable, irrevocable. He can do asset protection. He can do a complete estate plan. MileHighEstatePlanning.com, 720-924-6171. Now, that's his cell phone. That's how committed he is to his clients, so you can text him. MileHighEstatePlanning.com. His name's Blake Harris, 720-924-6171.
There is a Paradigm Interiors in Denver.
A Paradigm Interiors? Yeah, didn't we have that? That we did a... I had a floor covering contract endorsement with them.
Okay.
They're over on what street? Evans, right? Yes, that's it.
Free emblem quotes. Our design professionals will bring our showroom to you. You'll have all the choices right at your fingertips. Our design portfolio will not only appeal to your particular taste, but will also allow for a turnkey, worry-free project completed on time and on budget. Gotta love it, Todd. Whether it's the 5-piece master suite you want.
Listener wants the show pumpkin contest.
Shower, check it out. Book your bathroom project now for select install dates, and you'll enjoy a 12% savings. Kitchens, baths, showers, and floors.
Man, you guys are missing crappy weather.
Our word will feature right at Sunrise. 303-722-2285, 800-362-8370, or drhi.com.
This is Ed Green. Do you suffer from depression? Have you tried medications that either didn't work or had side effects such as weight gain or sexual dysfunction? Roughly 40 million adults in the United States suffer from depression. If you or a loved one suffers from depression and traditional medications are failing them, get help with Arahant Mental Wellness. And call them right now, 303-502-5911. Arahant Mental Wellness has a new way to treat depression called transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS. TMS is a drug-free, non-invasive, and is FDA proven to treat depression, and has none of the negative side effects of medication. Many patients feel relief after only a few weeks, and Arahant Mental Wellness takes most commercial insurances to pay for it. Stop suffering through depression and call Arahant Mental Wellness right now to set up a free consultation. Their phone number is 303-502-5911, 303-502-5911. Again, that important number, 303-502-5911, or online at hopethroughinnovation.com.
I'm Tom Martino for Ideal Home Loans. They have the rate guarantee. If rates go down, they will refinance you free of charge. 303-867-7000. Check out their pre-approval. It's like a cash offer. Already approved. Not pre-qualified, approved. All you need is the appraisal. 303-867-7000. 867-7000. Equal opportunity lender regulated by
What's that?
You go to Colorado Springs tomorrow,
For terms
right?
and conditions, call 844-45 Ideal. You've heard me talk about art and granite because
Hey, I moved it to the next break.
What's happening? Babe.
Babe.
Ah!
Oh.
My babe!
Oh.
I just called you babe.
Yeah, babe.
I called Ed babe.
Okay.
What are you laughing at?
I'm not laughing.
Babe. I'm sorry, Ed. When did you say I was doing it? Next break?
Yeah, next break. I think I fixed it.
Fix what?
Oh, we
I had to move some spots around. Mark made me do that.
Or Clinton
That's
tomorrow
amazing.
with his new team.
What's that?
Or Clinton tomorrow with his new team.
That'll be curious, huh?
He has
Did he go to Mexico?
last week.
It's like, I don't even like calling it Mexico. You realize where he goes.
Right over the border.
Right over the border, and the entire town is basically dentist.
Right.
I mean, it's a nice fucking area.
Yes.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is it's not like rolling into Tijuana
Right.
and finding some guy on the side of the street.
Tijuana, na. I live by heart in Tijuana.
When I was in the service, we used to go to Tijuana quite a bit.
I went one
Tijuana is like
time.
it's like it's a pit. It's a pit. Every kid in every corner was begging.
Selling those little chiclet gums.
Yeah. Hi, Tom Martino. Yes. I love Bob Dylan. Hey, we're going to help you if we can. That's what we're doing. Now, we've been talking about mental illness just because Jeremy had called. And now, is this the Jeremy I talked to, Suzanne, or is this a Jeremy?
It's a different Jeremy, I believe, Tom.
Jeremy called with a comment about mental illness we've been talking about. Go ahead, Jeremy.
So this is definitely a different Jeremy.
Okay.
I never experienced. I never experienced what the earlier caller was talking about, but I am third generation bipolar. My grandmother was bipolar. My mother's bipolar.
That's interesting. That's interesting the way you put that. Third generation.
Well, it definitely does run in the family. My grandmother was she had 7 children, and it brought her down, and she was just never the same. My mother's been through 5 different marriages, and it's
now are you suffering from that? Yeah. Did you say that? Yes. Absolutely. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you recognized it and right away, or did people have to tell you, or because it happened before you said, okay, I am getting weird? I mean, do you actually start feeling where you can actually look at it objectively and say, I'm getting weird?
Not at first, to be honest with you, but really what happened was about 12 or 13 years old, I got into alcohol and then into drugs, and people told me that, that I was just really strange, and I just laughed at it, and,
Yeah, I think the alcohol and drugs, I don't think alcohol and drugs causes the mental illness, although I mean, it does cause a host of problems, but I'm saying it can make you act crazy or act a certain way or deteriorate your health. I don't think it causes mental illness. I think people who are mentally ill seek to self-medicate themselves. Were you just looking for happiness, or were you looking to try to be normal?
Oh, I think I was just looking for exception, just to be accepted by others, and I thought that I found that, but I had a failed marriage, and I have an older child. She's 13, and I'm now in my second marriage, and I have 4 other children.
Do you stay on your meds?
My wife. I am not on medications. That's actually what I called to talk to you about.
Wow.
Really, what's helped is sobriety, just being sober. I mean, 100% sober, minus smoking cigarettes every day. I don't have health insurance to pay for all that, and really,
were you diagnosed as having a bipolar condition?
Yes, bipolar schizophrenic.
God, and you're doing it without medication.
How do you handle an episode?
Yeah, how do you handle an episode? Great question.
Well, how I handle episodes is that I recognize that they're coming. Now, this is only
really, yeah.
I want to say 5 or 6 years, where I can actually see myself starting to melt down. Now, my wife has been very patient with me, and I'm not going to lie to you, we have had our arguments, but they are nowhere near what they used to be when I was a kid. The violence, the destruction of property, the drug use, the things of that nature. And a lot of people say, well, I'm on my meds and I still have these problems. Well, the problem is that they're medicating with alcohol. They're medicating with marijuana. They're not eating right. They're not sleeping right. They're doing so many different things wrong. I still have my phrenia where, I only sleep probably 5 hours a night, but I dig myself into work. and I love what I do. I'm good at what I do. I get a lot of recognition from the owner of my company to the superintendent of my company.
What kind of work do you do?
I do restoration.
Restoration of cars, of houses, of...
Oh, I'm sorry, concrete.
Oh, okay. So, Jeremy, that's very interesting that you have been able to treat your own mental illness by simply being sober and recognizing when episodes are coming and basically distracting yourself. Is that a good way of putting it?
Absolutely.
I've always thought that many mentally ill people are too self-focused to begin with. And I don't mean it as a put down, but I just mean that everything is about them. And if they go out and help people less fortunate, depression can be treated that way if you're giving. Now, I know there's a lot of clinical depression, and people are saying it's not that simple. And I imagine, they're correct. I mean, there are all kinds of depressions. So, Jeremy, have you helped others? Oh, I disconnected by mistake, Jeremy. Don't take it personally. Don't let the paranoia get you. I didn't do it on purpose.
Don't forget that just like autism...
This is our deputy doc, our doctor in the house, yeah?
Just like autism, mental illness is a spectrum. He may have a mild case, whereas the original Jeremy was off the wall on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So that's something you have to take into consideration.
303-713-TALK. Is this Jacques? Jacques, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, Tom. Big fan, long-time listener.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, some advice or maybe some instruction, please, on how to deal with a civil summons.
Okay. And what's the civil summons?
Involving a debt.
Okay. And the first thing I want to ask you, when were you served?
The 17th at 1:50 in the afternoon.
Okay. Now you have 21 days to answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I want to know the next thing. Is it on a legit debt?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. Okay. So the best thing, if you know you owe the money, the best thing is the only way I'd fight it is if you know they don't have the evidence or it's not real, or you just settle. I would want to settle it before going to court. It always goes easier that way, unless, of course, they don't have the documentation. So what is the debt? What is it for? What is it for?
Medical services.
Okay, and how much?
$30,000.
Okay, and there was no way you could pay it. Is that right? Did you have insurance?
No, sir. Well, it isn't personal. It's for business. Well, she was my wife now. She wasn't then. She talked to you earlier this summer, Luana from Buena Vista, with her Premier Home Care, where Medicare had taken like $300,000 back.
Right. That she was doing home health care. But what didn't they come back and audit? Why did they take the money back?
Well, and I'm doing this secondhand, Tom, so forgive me if it's not
Sure.
entirely accurate, but a lot of it was the T's weren't crossed and the I's weren't dotted.
Right.
Doctor signatures, there was dates and whatnot.
So they took this money back with no hope of ever getting it back, or could she go back and reapply?
No, sir, it was no hope.
Okay, so then how did the $30,000 in bills come in? Is it from actual bills you guys had?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, what kind of bills?
This was like, and you'll pardon the expression, it was like renting a traveling nurse, if you will. So there was hourly wage.
Yeah, but
mileage.
see, that's what I'm asking you. It was for the business. It wasn't for your personal care.
Forgive me, Tom. Yes, it was for the business.
Okay, so it's an unpaid. It's an unpaid business debt. Is it personal, or did you guys have a corporation or an entity?
Yes, it's a corporation.
Well, is this corporation
it's an
still?
LLC.
It's an LLC. Was there personal liability taken on this debt?
No, sir.
Are they suing you personally, or the LLC, or your wife personally?
No, sir. The defendant is Premier Home Care, and forgive me, it's Inc., not LLC.
Okay, Inc. So Premier Healthcare is being sued, and on the contract where you didn't pay the $30,000, are you? It's real simple. Did you take personal liability?
No.
Okay. Does Premier Healthcare have assets?
I'm going to have to be hesitant. Yes and no. We're just so you know, we're using Larson for payroll taxes.
Good.
Based on your recommendation.
Good. They're great people.
Okay. No question about it. I'm working with Sandra specifically. What I've done, Tom, just briefly, is that I've taken over kind of the management, if you will, of the business, and it's in disarray with all due respect.
Okay.
So I'm trying to wrap my arms that we don't want to, and you'll forgive my English, not pay what we owe. We're
I understand.
trying to do that.
I understand. But the bottom line is this: you don't have the money to pay it. You've been summoned. They're going to get a judgment against you, but it'll be a judgment against the corporation. What you have to make sure you do is make absolutely positively sure there's no personal liability. Now, the corporation, unfortunately, you should never accumulate a lot of assets or profit in a corporation. The idea is to shelter it, is to pay it out in salaries or dividends so people don't want to sue your corporation. If they get a judgment against your corporation, they can go after all of your accounts receivable until they're paid. So hold on a sec. This is important.
This is Denver's talk station with Ross Kaminsky in the morning. And
did I? Why do I?
Master Rooter, Mark.
This report is sponsored by Discover. We treat you like you treat you.
Let's start with the drive up in the high country. There have been changing traction laws along the I-70 corridor, pretty much from C-470 traveling out west throughout the morning. Now we got a full closure both directions of I-70 up between Vail and Vail Pass. Problem is a jackknife semi found itself over the median, so there's one lane of both east and westbound I-70 blocked up by Vail Pass. They got to get that truck out of there.
I looked up Ethos. I saw that. There's a complaint about Ethos General Contracting. So I Googled them. They got a 5 out of 5 on Facebook, 5 out of 5 on Angie's List, and overall 4.9 rating on Google. Which is
so that's one of the complaints that's on the.
Yeah.
See, I don't get
coming
to see
up.
that. I don't
Oh,
get to
okay.
see that. Mark rarely does that.
Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
You know, full service plumbers that don't charge an arm and a leg. When I say that, you got to really listen to what I'm saying. Their service is impeccable. These guys can do everything from drain cleaning all the way up to sewer line replacements. I have seen them personally save a couple almost $7,000 on a sewer line replacement. If your pipes freeze, you need 24/7 emergency service. Any plumbing need, Master Rooter Plumbing. Please write this down, Master Rooter Plumbing. You can find them on our referral list. Their phone number is 720-434-3406, 720-434-3406.
Know what your mortgage rate is? A lot of homeowners have no idea, and that can be a problem. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky for American Financing. Today's rates are the lowest they've been in over a year. And a lower rate can put hundreds back in your monthly budget and save you thousands in interest over the life of your loan, sometimes tens of thousands. So make today the day you call American Financing. A salary-based mortgage consultant can provide you a free mortgage review and help you find the best option for you. No pressure, no obligation, and no upfront fees ever. You know what else? American Financing doesn't start your loan term over, so you choose your refinance benefits and how long you want your term to be. Don't put a mortgage refinance off any longer. Just think of what you could do with the extra money, and then give them a call at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, regulated by Beneficiary Real Estate. Are your windows looking a little old? Do they whistle when the wind blows? That's all that does to them. Old windows can waste a lot of energy. Can make your house feel drafty, let in noise, dust, and pollen, and worse, they may pose a big security risk. It's time for beautiful.
This sounds pretty simple. I mean, the guy, if it's a corporation, he's not personally responsible, right?
What's that?
So if it's a corporation, then he's not personally responsible.
Right. But some people make the mistake
they keep it in
of having a lot of money in that corp. He can't get it out now. Did I do CBD that works this hour?
No.
No. Okay.
Or have you done it? Yeah, you've done it once.
This hour? No.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I did it in the 10.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't do it.
I can't remember.
I did.
I want you to get genuine.
I'm sorry, I finally have it in what?
About avoiding surgery because
Oh, I did do a CBD that works in the top of the
people for years.
Yeah,
They can fix
that's right.
ACL tears, for example, with a needle instead of a knife. You've heard me talk a lot about stem cells, and I urge you to go to medical doctors who really know what they're doing that harvest
So
stem
10 to
cells
11.
on site. So if you're
11 to 12.
where they say they're shipping them in, it's phony. You cannot get living stem cells from amniotic fluid that's shipped in or umbilical cord blood. If you're looking for true living stem cell therapy, Centeno Schultz. We're lucky to have them right in our backyard. People come from all